Good evening to MB Studios. Welcome, audience members. You are here tonight on Twitch with me, your host, Misinformation. As you can tell by the fact that my shirt has a collar, I'm an intellectual. And this is a show where we value folks who can sound like they know what they're talking about. I see folks are already hopping into the chat. I'm very, very excited to be here with all of you tonight. Tonight is another tournament of winners, another winner's circle for us. So we have three folks here who have won this show before and are now competing for their master's degree from 2MB University. Perhaps the highest accolade one can achieve in the academic world. I see that other Dave Thomas is here because he is announcing, as he does every single week, that he was a winner of this show. Very true. Very true. But what other Dave Thomas holds is an undergraduate degree. Tonight, we are taking things to the next level. These three folks coming on have all won before. Let's see what they can do tonight. With me, as always, is my co-host, Will Actually. Will.
Welcome, and that sounds right.
Welcome to you, Will. Welcome.
I'm very excited about this show because, as you said, we're not only dealing with very smart people, we're going to deal with some very, very smart people who are going for a master's degree. So I'm super excited.
That's absolutely true. These people are incredibly smart, and even more important, they sound smart. They sound like they know what they're talking about. Whether or not they do. I think
in terms of priorities, being right is more important than sounding right, but it's semantics at this point, Misinformation.
It really is. You know what? I'd love to meet semantics someday, but for now, we're going to have to meet our contestants. Actually, before we do, Will.
Hold up.
Before we bring in our contestants, I'm remembering, I'm thinking back to last week. Last week, I believe I left you all in suspense about the winner of last week's Tournament of Champions. Does that sound right to you, Will?
Oh, that sounds very right. It was at the very important moment when you were just about to announce the winner and you cut out on us.
I sure did.
It's tragic.
As you know, we're back this week. And we have the winner from last week here with us. Is that right? Here in the studio?
Yep, she's in the studio and we're very excited to have her on.
Let's go ahead. We're about to find out whether it is Jess or Britt or Kenny, who were all on last week competing for their master's degree. And I am here to tell you, I'm not going anywhere. And we are going to present Jess Cashin with her master's degree.
Da, 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 da.
Yes. How does it feel to be a master? You are now officially a master.
Wow. I am the master of 2MB University. It feels great. It feels great. It's very lonely though here in the master circles. I'm very excited to get some compatriots, some classmates to share a master's degree with me after tonight's show.
Yes, after tonight's show, you will have officially a fellow master,
a
fellow master of 2MB.
Yes, can't wait to go for my PhD.
Oh, Jess, we can't wait to have you back for that. I have no doubt that you will be a doctor of 2MB very soon. Thank you for being here, Jess. With that, I'm going to bring in our three contestants. Congratulations. Our three contestants here with us tonight are Anthony. Anthony, welcome.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for being here. We have Charlotte.
Hi, Misinformation.
Hi, Charlotte. You're looking very studious tonight.
It's the glasses.
And we have Hannah.
Hello. And
Hannah.
good morrow.
Good morrow to you. Already impressing me with your language. Morrow. I don't even know what it means, but it sounds really good. All Anthony did was be polite.
It's gotten me nowhere.
We're going to dive right into the first round, contestants. I'm going to give you a question. The three of you are going to give me an answer. If you're joining us for the first time, one of these contestants will be giving a correct answer. Do I care? Nope. All I care about is who sounds right. And I'm going to give points for who I think that is. Here we go. Round 1, question 1. Which community is best known for living specifically in the Broadway area between 63rd and 76th Streets? One more time. Which community is best known for living specifically in the Broadway area between 63rd and 76th Streets? I'm going to assume this question is referring to New York City. And I feel like that's a fair assumption, but please correct me if that is misinformation. Anthony, I'm coming to you first for your answer.
Sure. Yeah. So the community that lives there is called the Alley Cats, and they are a group of people who followed the longest running Broadway show Cats in New York City.
And they all decided to live in the same general zone.
Correct. It's like a commune type like area where they all frequently dress up as characters from the show Cats.
Wow, that sounds like a really specific community, Anthony. Thank you for sharing that with me. Charlotte, what's your answer?
Of course.
Of course, it has to be the Manhattan Ant, the ants of Manhattan. So the Manhattan Ant is a specific ant species found between 63rd and 76th Streets. They are known, they resemble a cornfield ant because they consume so much corn syrup, being an urban ant, you know. And while they resemble the cornfield ants of Europe, there is no connection between the species. They are very specific to these.
No connection?
I mean, I don't know, they resemble, but scientists have not found any biological connection between these species in terms of they're related to each other. And they can't find the Manhattan ant in Europe. It's only found between these streets.
Wow. Big if true, Charlotte. Hannah, what's your answer?
Oh, yeah. Big if true. Unfortunately,
Big
it's
if
not.
true.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not. The group that is living between the 50s and the 70s in that block is actually the Jersey Boys. Of course, at this point, they are Jersey men. They've aged between 50 and 70 years old. Generally, that community is that age. And that's why they reside in that area specifically. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why aren't they in New Jersey? Well, when Jersey Boys came to New York, when they made a splash, New Jersey said, if you're going to New York, but you're calling yourselves Jersey Boys, then you can stay in New York because Jersey Boys stay in Jersey with the other Jersey Boys. And so the Jersey men have grown older in that community between the 50s and the 70s, which again is a coding for their age bracket.
Okay. And Hannah, just to clarify, the Jersey Boys, or the Jersey men now, are united by
friendship. Friendship.
Okay. Got it. Let's review these answers. Anyone could be correct. So it could be Anthony who claims that the people, the community that lives in this area are alley cats, lovers of the musical Cats and cosplayers of the characters. Charlotte says Manhattan ant, a specific species of ant that only lives in this neighborhood of Manhattan. And Hannah says it's the Jersey men who used to be Jersey Boys. They came from Jersey and they're united by friendship. I'm really, we're off to such a strong start because any of these could be true. And yet I don't really believe any of them. And that's what I love about this show. Is I learned so many new things. But if you're asking me who I think sounds the most right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to rush right into this first point. I'm going to give the points to Anthony for the Alley Cats because that just seems the most plausible. I don't really understand who the Jersey Boys are. And I know that ants are basically everywhere. I don't understand how they could only be in one neighborhood. Wouldn't they just walk around? So 5 points to Anthony for people who dress up like they're from the musical Cats and they want to live in this neighborhood for community.
Well, actually, here, that is incorrect. It is not Cats fans. It is actually Manhattans. Manhattan ants.
They only live in that neighborhood?
In the medians of the neighborhood, misinformation.
That's where they've been found to only live.
I'm
Starting off with a
blown
good foot.
away. I'm blown away by that answer, Charlotte.
Charlotte, when you gave that answer at first, I thought you were pronouncing it like AUNTS, and I was like, this is going to be a very interesting answer. It's the bunch of New York
also
City
thought
aunts.
The
That's what I
ants of
thought, too.
Manhattan.
Wow, I'm really surprised by that answer. And Charlotte, I have to say, it didn't sound right to me.
Sorry, I'll be better next time. I promise.
All right, let's move on ahead to our next question, which is, what are Cookie Monster's cookies actually made of on Sesame Street? Cookie Monster is a resident of Sesame Street, and he is a lover of cookies. These cookies are made from something. I'd love to know what these cookies are made from. Charlotte, I'm coming to you first this time. Go ahead and tell me something that sounds right.
Yeah, so I think if we think of Cookie Monster, it's just the like, and it all crumbles, right? He's barely getting it in his mouth.
Yeah.
So that has to be styrofoam. It's just crumble, 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 crumble. Drips down. It's easy to clean. It's nothing that causes a mess. It wouldn't attract ants of any sort, right? So it's an easy clean. It's an easy crumble. That's all Cookie
Sure.
Monster needs.
That sounds like that could really be a show prop, Charlotte. You know what? That sounds right. I'll say it. Hannah, let's hear your answer.
Sure. Charlotte is very close here. It's actually not styrofoam, but an edible agent much like styrofoam, a rice cake. It is a rice cake, which is painted like a chocolate chip cookie. And I'll tell you why they use rice cakes. It's because the chocolate and grease in normal cookies would damage the fur and the interior of the puppets. So they use rice cakes, and then Cookie Monster just cookie.
Wow. Hannah, you've given me a lot to think about. That's true about the chocolate stains, I believe. And, that sounds right. The one thing I'm wondering, and you know what? I'm going to save my follow-up question. Let's hear Anthony's question first, because this might be a question for more than one person. Anthony, what's your answer?
Sure. So the cookies that Cookie Monster eats are made from paper mache, and they are layered on top with granola. And it's a longstanding tradition that the paper mache cookies are made by the children of employees on the set of Sesame Street.
Oh, that is so sweet, Anthony. That's a strong showing. That's a strong showing from you.
I mean, strong showing from Sesame Street.
Strong showing from Sesame Street, as always. So my question, I still want to ask my follow-up question, and I think it applies to Anthony and Hannah, which is why the granola? Why a rice cake? Why does it need to be edible? Why does any part of it need to be edible? And I don't want to, if there are children watching, I hope not, because sometimes I say bad words on this show, but just in case, the Cookie Monster actually is a puppet, as we've mentioned. He doesn't need to eat any of it. So why the edible material?
I would assume for a layer of authenticity that doesn't damage the felt of the puppets.
I can't claim to fully know, but if I had to guess, I would guess that a rice cake is more environmentally conscious than styrofoam. And again, this isn't me claiming to know. This is my best guess. It also provides sustenance later for one Oscar the Grouch.
Who needs to? I imagine he gets hungry. And
right. Again, that's all that's hearsay. But if I had to guess on mine,
I'm also thinking that. So I'm thinking back. I'm trying to remember my Sesame Street memories, and I'm remembering that sometimes I think, don't the adults sort of share and partake in that? The adults are not puppets; they're humans. Gordon and Maria and so on. They are people, and I believe sometimes maybe they would take a bite.
That's a really interesting point. I did research. I don't know if I was as thorough in my research as I should be, because I don't know if the paint that goes on the rice cakes is edible.
Oh, that would be
they're painted to look like a cookie.
A good thing to check on. I once accidentally ate a prop that was painted on, and it tasted terrible.
Yeah,
it was spray painted.
Yeah.
I'm hearing from the chat, Abolish the Senate asks, does Oscar canonically eat garbage or just live in it? Does anyone have the answer? Does Oscar eat garbage?
Definitely in it, but I don't know about eating it.
Yeah.
Like, do I eat my couch? No. Do I eat my bed? No. So that's a good question.
That's a really good point.
That's a really good point.
You know what? I've had styrofoam. Oh, no, not styrofoam. I've had rice cakes before. I've never eaten styrofoam. I have had rice cakes. They've got a good crunch. I imagine that's great for Foley. I'm going to go ahead and give Hannah 5 points for styrofoam and rice cakes. I keep saying this. I can't get it out of my head, Charlotte. I'm giving Hannah 5 points.
You wanted.
I don't. What sounds right to me is rice cakes. I would believe that. It's a healthy treat. It's environmentally friendly.
And it's correct.
For real?
They use rice cakes. Yeah. Rice cakes for the Cookie Monster. Well done.
I was really torn on that. I thought it might have been that children making paper mache.
I tugged on the heartstrings though, right?
It was such a cute story. I really thought that might be it. All right, let's move on to the final question in the first round, which is, what helpful tattoo does Jennifer Lawrence have? Jennifer Lawrence is an actor. Many movies, such as many of them. Mother, that's one. And I believe she's an Oscar winner. That sounds right. What helpful tattoo does she have? I can't wait to hear it. Hannah, what helpful tattoo does Jennifer Lawrence have?
On Jennifer Lawrence's back, you see a step-by-step of how to give somebody the Heimlich maneuver, just as it would appear on a poster in a school. It is extremely courteous of her to do, because honestly, it's hard to get work when you have tattoos in certain places. I think they're more amenable to helping with that now. But at one point in her life, Jennifer was like, I care more about people not dying from choking if my back is exposed than getting a part in a movie, which frankly is somebody having their priorities straight, in my opinion. But yeah, that's what it is. It's the full posters with diagrams.
Okay. So this is definitely this is an altruistic move. This is like to help other people. This is not like if I'm choking, like check my back.
Yeah, no. This isn't. I mean, it helps, but they can't read it while they're doing it to her. So
that's
it's
true.
more,
she would need to just stand by.
Right. It's more in an effort to support the community.
Mm. Yeah. That's really sweet of Jennifer Lawrence. Anthony, what's
Rumor
your
is that
answer?
she doesn't know how to do it because it's on her back and she can't see the tattoo, right?
Yeah, that's an accurate
that's a
rumor.
shame.
She doesn't know.
Yeah.
How.
No idea. That's why she needs to help in some way.
She's like, I can't remember.
Right.
Look at my take off my shirt.
Yeah. Does anyone have two mirrors?
Exactly.
All right, Anthony, what's your answer? What's the helpful tattoo?
Sure. Yeah. So she has like the least rebellious tattoo ever. It's a very small tattoo in the back of her right hand. In very tiny letters, it says H2O to remind her to hydrate and drink water.
Oh, that's nice. That's a reminder we could all use. Not quite as much of an emergency as the Heimlich maneuver, but still very important. Charlotte, what is your answer? What's the helpful tattoo?
Now, Anthony was right about the body part, but he was wrong about the tattoo. So it's actually, it's on her left and right wrists. And on her left wrist, she just has the term Lucy. And on her right wrist, tighty. And it's just her reminder of whatever she's screwing or unscrewing, any type of thing, of which way to loosen it up and which way to tighten it up.
And
Simplest. It's helpful.
And rumor has it she only loosens things with her left hand and tightens things with her right hand, right?
She's ambidextrous. That's how she got hungry.
How else would you know? How else would you remember?
So I'm seeing from the chat, other Dave Thomas says, if Jennifer Lawrence ever wears a wetsuit, she's gonna die. I don't understand. Perhaps because the Heimlich would be covered up.
Too tight. It would take so long to get off. She'd be like, read it.
Hey, and other Dave Thomas followed that up with, or if she wears overalls to McDonald's.
I don't get that one.
I can't follow these jokes. I was hoping one of you could explain it to me, but we might just have to move on.
I guess the only thing would be she can't take the whole thing off at McDonald's because that's a frequent place for children to be. And if all the information's on her back, it covers the back.
Overalls cover the back.
Yeah.
Unlike
she's gonna die or
over
she's gonna be nude.
I guess a shirt you could just lift up,
Okay. Yeah. Everybody demonstrate lifting up an invisible shirt. Yep. That would work. That would work for sure.
This is the face I make every time I take a shirt off.
Hannah,
I love a visual aid, and I love that the other contestants helped you out with that. We love some object work. We love a visual aid on this show. But I'm going with the tattoo that seems most helpful in the day-to-day, and I'm gonna go with Anthony on this one, on H2O. You have support in the chat. I love to go with the chat. Audience members, hop in the chat. Let me know what to pick because I love to side with you most of the time. And I just think we could all use a reminder to drink a little more water. I certainly could.
And so can Jennifer Lawrence. That is correct.
Yes.
H2O for all, baby.
Yes. Jennifer Lawrence, what a helpful tattoo. Thank you for bringing us this question tonight. You know what? So far, the score is Anthony with 10 points, Hannah with 5 points. Charlotte, you don't have any points so far, but look, there's plenty of time left in this game. 2 more rounds plus our bonus lightning round. Now, Anthony, you're in the lead. That must feel pretty good. Is there anything else that you want to tell the audience while we're here? Anything you want to plug to everybody?
Yeah, sure. So I have a show called Boy Detectives Presents on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Where me and my co-host will have 2 guests on where we draft fantasy football teams made out of teams that aren't football players. So tomorrow night is going to be the wrestlers draft. We'll be drafting football teams out of WWE wrestlers with featuring other David Thomas in the chat.
Fantastic. Excellent. That's going to be a great show, folks.
He's very funny.
He's very funny.
Excellent. Thanks for that, Anthony. Let's go ahead and dive into our second round. I'm seeing our question for the second round. Our first question is, I'm going to say this really purposefully. How much would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? I'm not pulling on anybody's leg here. I'm reading the question as written. A woodchuck is an animal, and if they could chuck wood, this is a kind of a hypothetical, perhaps. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck? Anthony, I'm gonna come right back to you. Fill me in. What's your answer?
Sure. So I feel bad submitting this one. It's kind of a trick question because it says how much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood, and they would not chuck any wood because wood is actually poisonous to woodchucks.
Damn.
Poisonous to woodchucks.
Poisonous to woodchucks.
Do they get like a rash, or they sort of?
No. So bark would give them an infection and would kill them if they ate wood.
Oh my gosh!
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Right. They are named woodchucks for being born, like they live in the woods.
Yeah.
And just the funny rhymes made because it sounds like woodchucking.
It does. A funny rhyme and a serious answer. Thank you, Anthony. Charlotte.
We're not here for serious. We're here for real and honesty. And that's 2. They would chuck 2 woods just because they're small and they don't have a lot of strength to them. They do what they can. They're trying so hard out there.
They're trying really hard, but they get tired out because
they only got 2 arms.
So here, Charlotte, I just want to reiterate, if a woodchuck could chuck wood, they would chuck 2. But they can't?
2 woods.
No, they're really weak. They can't chuck anything.
Woodchucks cannot chuck anything at all, but if they could, they would only chuck 2 due to the exhaustion factor.
Exactly.
Can we talk about the unit of woods?
Yeah, it's
so
just
it's 2 woods.
2 woods. Yeah, that's like the standard wood size. 2 units of wood.
About 2 of these by 3 of these.
2 standard logs.
Think a classic fireplace log. Just 2 of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got it.
Okay.
Hannah, your answer.
How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a
Mhm.
woodchuck could chuck woods? 700 pounds.
Wow.
700 pounds. And here's the thing.
This is a unit I can get behind.
Pounds.
Yes.
Researchers, there's research done on this. It's researchers at Cornell actually wrote up a piece. They estimated a woodchuck chucks about 700 pounds, but much like what Anthony said, it's not pure wood, because unlike a beaver, a woodchuck cannot haul that amount of just timber. So it's more dirt and debris, and it's a reflection of the hole they built and the materials they gather, which equates about 700 pounds. Again, this is Ivy League stuff. So I'm gonna
And it's because they like dig out the ground for their holes.
I think so, yeah. So I think they like it. They don't. The way that I understand it is they don't build like an above ground nest. They built their wood hole, their chuck hole, and they gather their things in it, and then they gather about 700 pounds worth of it.
Got it.
In their chuck hole.
Ivy League stuff. I see.
Stuff.
Now, all right, I'm gonna do a quick review here. Anthony, your answer is none, because wood is poison.
Bark would kill them.
The bark would kill them. Charlotte's answer is 2, and Hannah's answer is 700 pounds. The chat's a little all over the place on this one, and I see why. Because to be honest with all of you, 0 seems like not enough for an animal called a woodchuck. No wood at all? Come on. But 700 pounds feels like a lot for such a little guy. And in that way,
they're weak.
They're so weak. And
they're strong.
Feels like the right answer. They are strong, Hannah.
Let me ask you this. Why would someone, and Charlotte, I'm asking you too, why would someone go out of their way to make a riddle about a guy that chucks wood if they couldn't back that up with 700 pounds?
I'll answer
That's all
it.
I had to say.
Okay.
Riddles are just for fun, not for show. It's not for showing off. It's just for entertainment. And I also want to remind us, woodchucks can't measure anything. They can see 2 things in front of them, though, and they know if they can handle that or not.
And they
2 woods.
And they can do 2. That's it. That's the fact.
Now, I don't know if this information helps you, but a woodchuck is just a groundhog, which I learned from doing the rodents draft in Boy Detectives Presents a few weeks ago.
Wow. Well, Anthony just threw in my favorite thing to hear, which is a personal anecdote. They did a rodents draft. That's how Anthony knows this. Anthony's getting support in the chat. That means Anthony's getting 5 more points from me for the bark is poison to a woodchuck. Leave it alone. None at all. No wood may a woodchuck chuck due to the poisonous bark.
Well, actually, here, that is incorrect. Unfortunately, it is actually 700 pounds.
Two woods.
Wood. It's actually 700 pounds of wood.
Again, I when I looked it up, it said that they can't lift, like, I didn't read anything about wood being poisonous. I don't know if that's true. If it was, Anthony's a great liar if it's true or not true. But it's which don't give him points for that, because I said that. No points for him.
Anthony already got his points.
But it said they can't lift like a lot of physical timber, but any like debris that they collect accumulates. They can build up to 700 pounds in their nest hole.
Right. In their nest
and
hole.
it did say it was a Cornell study. That is true. I did not make that up.
Wow. A Cornell study. That's really exciting. We've got some Ivy League knowledge, Hannah. Not that it helped you earn any points, but it did teach us all something new. Let's read the second question in round 2, which is, what special skill can a wood frog do for 8 months? For 8 months, a wood frog can do this. We're back in the forest here. with our friend the woodchuck. This time it's a wood frog. What can they do for 8 whole months? Charlotte, I'm coming to you first. What can they do for 8 whole months?
They can freeze, baby. They are able to withstand the cold, and they get all chilly, and they're known for being up north in Canada in the woods, and they get all cold, and then they just burst on out when it's time to be nice and toasty.
They full on freeze.
Yeah, it's kind of like do you remember Man Ray in SpongeBob when he's frozen? It's kind of like that.
Yeah, that was a helpful example, Charlotte. Thank you. That was definitely good for your case. Hannah, let's go to you. What can the wood frog do for 8 months?
No one's gonna like this answer, but it's
okay.
Right, and it's give birth. It could give birth for 8 months. My mom is not gonna like that I shared this, but she was in labor with me for 36 hours, and it's a long time. And a wood frog is capable of being in labor for a full 8 months, and they are strong. They are strong because giving birth is the ultimate. You have to be strong.
They give birth to
an egg.
Eggs. One egg.
Yep.
Or all of their eggs.
It's one sack of eggs.
One sack.
It contains all their eggs, and it's
sack.
It's one sack of eggs that contains all of their eggs.
One sack of all of their eggs.
It's tadpoles. It's biology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Hannah. That was really informative, and you had a personal anecdote to back it up of your own birth. So that's definitely good for your case. Anthony, what's your answer?
So Charlotte got kind of close, but the answer I was looking for is that they hold their pee for 8 months. It's during hibernation. During hibernation, they hold their pee for 8 months, and the microbes in the urine help provide nitrogen to the frog while they partially freeze during hibernation.
Fro.
So they partially freeze.
They partially freeze during hibernation.
They don't pee so that they wouldn't melt themselves.
They hold their pee, and the microbes in their urine transfer nutrients to nitrogen to keep them alive.
Uh-huh.
They retain the nitrogen to keep them alive, and the nitrogen substantiates them.
Look, I didn't read the whole Wikipedia article, but
okay.
I'm not understanding. Look, they hold their pee for 8 months is the fun part.
Anthony, it sounds right. All of these sound right, sort of. So Charlotte's answer is they can freeze. Hannah's answer is they give birth for 8 months, and Anthony's answer is they hold their pee for 8 months. A skill I'm sure we all wish we had.
Mm-hmm.
L Oaks in the chat says this sounds sus. Anthony's just copying Charlotte. Wow.
Thank you, Ella.
I can't change the right answer.
Wow. Charlotte is now
I can't change the right answer.
So this is difficult because Charlotte gave a helpful example, which was the SpongeBob reference. Hannah gave a personal anecdote, which was herself being born for 36 hours. And Anthony cited a source, Wikipedia.
If you want to give a personal example, I've got halfway through Snyder Cut of Justice League before I had to pee.
That sounds right, Anthony. Of all things, that sounds right. But you know what, Charlotte, you've got some support in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and give you 5 points for freezing. I know that reptiles can do this. I know some reptiles can freeze themselves. I remember the news story about the iguanas falling out of the trees in Florida. Do y'all remember that?
No.
Iguanas fell out of trees because they were frozen. So stands to reason a wood frog could do it too. Charlotte's got 5 points. How are we doing?
Not good. Not good. That is incorrect misinformation. I'm so sorry. It's Anthony. Anthony was correct. They can hold their pee for up to 8 months. Their
pee for 8 months. And Anthony,
so did you just think that they were peeing? Did you just think that they froze, like in Charlotte's example, and just peed sporadically?
Just figured out. if they were
Yeah,
frozen,
out of
I thought they wouldn't really need to, because if you're frozen, you're not eating, you're not drinking, you're just sort of subsisting. I've used that word twice, and I'm not sure what it means.
No,
But
it's
Charlotte
good. It's a good word. I'm just curious, like, if it's like not to talk about all the whole animal kingdom, but if a bear is hibernating, like, they're always asleep. They're
not just shitting.
They don't just be shit. They're not shitting.
They don't just be shitting.
With that first shit,
gathering my words, I'm processing this, and I can't believe no one thought that it was the egg sac.
Hannah, you know, I really didn't rule it out. All those answers really sounded like they could be true. Charlotte sounded the most right, which is why Charlotte got 5 points. We've got one more question in round 2, and it is, what is an action adult cats only do to their humans? I really can't wait to hear the answer. What is an action adult cats only do to their humans? This is a real animal themed round. Really interested in the answer. Hannah, I'm coming to you first. What is this cat action?
They only to their human, they'll only lick the hair on their forearm, because it's a pretty simple answer. It just mimics the same coarse texture, or like kind of coarse soft mix of their babies. Cats think of their human as their babies, because cats think that they are smarter.
So when you say that they only do this to their humans, do you mean that they don't lick the forearm hair of strangers, or they don't lick the forearm hair of other animals, or
they don't lick the forearm hair of other humans if they're truly loyal? If they haven't decided that you are their human, they'll lick anyone till they find their human. But even if you've had a cat for 10 years and it's not licking your forearm, it doesn't trust you. I'm sorry to be the one to say that. But.
Wow, licking the forearm hair, that is really enlightening. I'll be on the lookout for unloyal cats. Anthony, what's your answer?
So, having just got a cat at the beginning of pandemic, I had to look this up. Cats will only sit with their butthole facing your face if it is comfortable with you as an owner. It's an act of subservience, and it's kind of like their equivalent of a dog sniffing another dog's butt to check it out. It's like they're allowing you to sniff their butt because they feel safe with you.
Oh, and Hannah, you're shaking your head.
I don't have any pet cats, and I still have so many cat buttholes in my face all the time.
You're very trustworthy. The cats love you.
Perhaps those cats are not loyal.
Maybe.
But Anthony, you looked this up because you were like, why does my cat keep doing this?
Yes.
Interesting.
A lot of
Charlotte,
butthole in the morning.
A lot of butthole in the morning.
Yeah, well, I wake up and he's sitting on me with his butthole in my face.
What a charming wake-up call. Because he loves you. Mm-hmm. Charlotte, what's your answer?
It's actually pretty simple. And it's not buttholes, and it's not arm licking. It's meowing, baby. It's just meowing. They are, so, cats have their own form of communication to other adult cats. And a lot of it is centered around body language and their tail movements and things like that. But with their humans, it's like, you're the ones, especially, this is for domesticated cats. You're the one who feeds me. You're the one who caters to me. You're the one who takes care of me. So I'm going to meow at you. And so, like, kittens meow to their mothers. But once they, domesticated cats are full grown, they don't meow to other cats. They just meow to their human for communication and just like, look at me.
I think that might be true. All of these answers could be true, and a little bit maybe are. So I'm getting support for basically all of these in the chat. It seems like cats do all these things. They lick forearms, they show butt, and they also meow. It turns out cats meow. Brian Michael in the chat says, holy shit, my cat has definitely backed that fang up, and it's been traumatizing. So we definitely have support there. A lot of people love the butt answer. But here's the thing. Hannah says from personal experience, she's seen the butt of many cats.
Yeah, I've seen so
Did it lay
cats.
with its butthole facing you?
Yes. And also, but I also have a thing where people are like, oh, like, my baby looks at you. it's one of those things where
this seems like Hannah's the outlier here.
Trust me. And babies also trust me. So I guess I came at you. I didn't mean to just attack your answer, Anthony. I feel like
no, it's fine.
In my personal experience, I've seen a lot of cat buttholes of cats that I don't know own.
Sure.
Here to poke holes, you know? Here to poke
Yeah.
Seen a lot.
Poke holes.
So really what I'm hearing is the differentiating factor here is, what do cats only do to their humans, right? Do cats show each other their buttholes? Do cats meow at each other? Do cats lick each other? Hannah, I've got to be honest, I've seen cats lick each other. I definitely have. Not necessarily on the forearm, but one could argue. I think all in all, I'm actually going to go with, I'm going to disagree with the chat. And I know everybody, you hate when I do that, but I have to give the points to Charlotte, because I think I remember that from somewhere. It sounds very familiar. I'm already getting flack for this in the chat, but I rang the bell, which means it's over. I really think that cats I believe that cats might show their butts to each other, but I really don't know if cats meow to each other. This is a very interesting question to me.
It's an interesting answer. You are correct on that. It is meowing only to their adult humans as their adults.
Only meowing. So they might show each other their buttholes, for instance.
Totally. Yeah, sure. Why not?
I honestly thought that Anthony's was the answer, which is why I went so hard.
Yeah. You know, they're talented too, but that's what made the difference to me, is they only do it to humans. Me, wow, says Exploding Lobster. I totally agree. You know, wow, that was such an eventful round. I'm really glad. So I was celebrating just now, and I just want to clarify for the audience and for you and for God and everybody that I was celebrating not because someone who got it correct got the points. That is Will's arena. Will's arena. I personally give points for whoever sounds right, and it's none of my business. I was celebrating though because the chat does cyberbully me when I get it wrong after disagreeing with them. So I was celebrating just for my own personal relationship with my audience. I just had to clear that up. We're at the end of round 2 now. Charlotte, you went from no points to 10 points. You're really pulling up behind Anthony now. Do you want to share anything with the audience?
Oh, I forgot about this part. So yeah, I'll always plug Sex With Me. Definitely watch that every other week. And that is
you're talking about a show. You're talking about a show called Sex With Me.
Sex With Me here on 2MV Studios, Fridays at 9, every other Friday, right?
Yep, that's right.
That's right. Okay. And then I always love to plug the Sleepover Girls. Love those girls. That is Saturdays, every other Saturday at 10. Good times, good times. That's
fantastic. Charlotte, you know what? You're showing your colors as an improviser, because no matter how much you didn't expect that plug, you nailed it. Sleepover and 69 minutes of Sex With Me right here on twitch.tv/2MB Studios. Let's move on to round 3. Question 1. Prior to Inside the Actors Studio, what job did James Lipton have in the 1950s? Before Inside the Actors Studio, what job did James Lipton have? Anthony.
Sure. So after World War II, James Lipton spent some time in Paris, and for 1 year, he was a pimp in Paris. Now, this was a time and place where sex workers were not taken advantage of. He was essentially an agent in Paris.
An agent for sex workers in Paris.
Right.
I didn't even know James Lipton lived in Paris.
I believe it was just for the year.
Just for 1 year.
It was just for 1 year in the 50s. He caught some heat for it later on, and he was like, it was a different thing than what you're thinking. It wasn't like a pimp. I was like, a French pimp. They have a different word for it.
Le pimp.
It's a different job. Le pimp.
Could be true. Could be true. James Lipton was perhaps a Parisian agent for sex workers. Anthony, that might be right. Charlotte, what's your answer?
Oh, it's less risque than that. James Lipton was a janitor an acting studio. My research was limited, but he used to work in Hollywood studios and clean up. And that's where he got the name for Inside the Actors Studio. He wanted to pay homage to his early callings of cleaning the actors, kind of background quarters when they were preparing to get on set.
So he went from cleaning the actors' studios to being inside the actors' studios.
Wow.
Exactly.
Wow, Charlotte. So 2 really different answers so far. No idea who's right. Hannah, what's your answer?
Well, as you can imagine, it's going to be completely different again, which is James Lipton actually grew up in the small town of Holbrook, Wisconsin. It was a 1,200 person town, and his family owned a dairy farm, and he worked on the farm as he would do dairy farming, and he would get up and milk cows and make cheese and that kind of thing. And it was his parents' love of old movies that got him interested in actors. And then he left it all behind to go to New York.
His parents' old movies?
His parents had a couple old movies. They had like 2 or 3, like Casablanca, the old movies that they would watch. And that was like their one form of entertainment. I mean, maybe they had other forms of entertainment, but they were in Wisconsin,
so not much.
Right. Well, he claims that it was like the classics that got him into wanting to know more about acting and the actors. And initially he moved with the intention of becoming an actor himself, and then was so good at the role he got eventually that he was like, this is my calling.
Wow. You know what? It could be any of these. I don't really know anything about James Lipton. I know now that he was inside the actor's studio. That's really all I know. But I gotta say, I'm not seeing a lot of support one way or the other in the chat. And from my perspective, I love the story of a Wisconsin farm boy who has an eye for the big silver screen. Is it called the silver screen when it's the movies? Anthony, are you trying to raise your hand?
Possibly.
Yeah, I just want to say that sounds an awful lot like Wanda Maximoff's backstory in WandaVision, a recent show that just came out.
I haven't seen that. I've heard of it. I haven't seen that. Anthony, I was kind of working actually I picked this fact because it was so close to my own backstory growing up in a small Vermont town, the small town of Burlington, Vermont.
Right.
And obviously,
what's your favorite old movie?
Did you grow up with movies? Did you grow up with Lipton?
It is.
Or I guess you loved improv growing up. Your parents loved improv.
An affair to remember. And
they showed you
one TV, and I liked improv because I had to make up all my entertainment. That's why I do it.
Okay, Hannah, I love the personal anecdote. We're running out of time so quickly. I'm going to give 5 points to Hannah. I could sit here all night with you 3, but we're going to do a speed round. We're going to do a super speed round for the next 2 questions.
Will actually here, and he was the pimp. Anthony was correct on that one. Le pimp.
In Paris. He lived in Paris for a year. Wow. Anthony, what a factoid about Mr. James Lipton.
You thought I'd come up with Parisian pimp in 2 seconds?
I didn't think of that. That would have been a weird first thought. I know.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I didn't think of that. I loved the farm boy story. Hannah, have you seen WandaVision?
No. I know
there we go.
But I haven't
Truth
watched
tellers.
it. I had no idea that was the backstory.
Let's move on. Speed round. Question 2, round 3. Which mammal has the longest duration of ejaculation? I'm not reading it again. Longest duration of ejaculation. I guess I just read the second half. Whose turn is it? Charlotte, what's your answer? We're just looking for a time here. Super quick.
Filthiest animal, pig. They can do 31 minutes.
31 minutes of ejaculation? Hannah, which mammal has the longest duration of ejaculation?
Platypus, 9.5 hours.
Platypus for 9.5 hours.
Not even a mammal. Blue whale, 8 minutes.
A platypus is absolutely a mammal.
Oh yeah, is it a marsupial or a mammal?
Marsupials are mammals. Wait, Anthony, what was your answer? Blue whale for how long?
Blue whale, 8 minutes. I don't know because I didn't look up platypuses. I only had to look up blue whale. Sorry.
Blue whale for 8 minutes, a pig for 31 minutes, or a platypus for 9.5 hours? It's got to be Charlotte. I know they orgasm forever. I remember hearing that. It could be ejaculation as well. Pigs for 31 minutes. We're going with Charlotte. 5 points to Charlotte for sounding right.
And she is correct. They are filthy pigs who ejaculate for 31 minutes.
Filthy pigs.
Wow.
31 minutes of ejaculation. Next question. The Spice Girls famously had to replace a member of their group before starting out. What was her real name and what spice name is she called now? Okay, the Spice Girls, they famously had to replace a member of their group before starting out. What was her real name and the spice name? Okay, so we're looking for a real name and a spice name. Hannah.
Her real name was Michelle Stevenson, and based on the documentary about the Spice Girls, she's known. You can Google her as Raw Spice.
Whoa.
Raw Spice.
Like a raw spice, like
That's
not
pretty-
like uncooked.
Feels scandalous. Thank you, Hannah. Anthony, real name and spice name.
Her real name was Greta Smith, and she's now known as Old Spice.
Old Spice.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Charlotte, real name and spice name.
Her name was Gemma O'Connell, and she was Shorty Spice because she was like 4'11".
Shorty Spice. Okay, so it's either Shorty Spice, Raw Spice, or Old Spice.
That's what she's called now.
Oh, it's gotta be Shorty Spice. Charlotte, I'm giving it to you with Shorty Spice. I can't imagine it's Raw Spice. It's so rude.
Well, actually, here, and would you believe that it is Raw Spice?
All right. Folks, the score is it's all over the place. I was gonna say all tied up. That's not true at all. Charlotte is in the lead with 20 points. Anthony is in the second lead with 15 points, and Hannah is in the third lead with 10 points. So everybody's in the lead, but Charlotte is definitely heavily in the first lead. So we're going to go ahead into the bonus lightning round. We just have time for a few questions. So audience members, it's extremely important that you hop into the chat and give these folks bonus points. This will be decided by the bonus points given by the chat. I don't give any points during the bonus lightning round. Will, are you ready?
I am so ready. Are you ready?
I am ready. Let's do this. Hold on. All right. First question. Hannah, what is this?
An empty vending machine.
Charlotte, what is this?
It's a blank TV.
Anthony, what is this?
Picasso's first painting of a new TV.
Will, what is this actually?
It's a Mark Rothko painting.
Beautiful.
Rothko.
Rothko. It's a painting, everybody. Culture. Let's move on to the next question. Hannah, who is this?
Old man Frank.
Okay. Charlotte, who is this?
Merceau Marseille.
Anthony, maybe. Who is this?
This is Isaac Newton's headshot.
And Will, who is this actually?
This is Johann Pachelbel of Pachelbel Canon, the composer.
Of Paco Bell's canon, everybody. Paco Bell.
Taco Bell. Yoshihiro Taco Bell.
Next question. Hannah, what movie is this from?
Oh, Dr. Dolittle.
Oh, Dr. Dolittle. Charlotte, what movie?
Doula Doctor.
Doula Dr. Little. Anthony, what movie?
Dr. Dolittle 2, The Clumps.
And, Will, what movie is this?
It's from the original Dr. Dolittle.
It is from the original Dr. Dolittle. Just one more. I got to break a tie. Hannah, what is this?
The new Overlord alien egg.
Yep, new Overlord alien egg. Charlotte, what is this?
It's a Fabergé egg of a sailor boy?
Yep, maybe. Anthony, what is this?
It's the Wood Frogs Benoit ball.
What is this?
It is a Fabergé egg.
It's a Fabergé egg, potentially of a sailor boy.
Potentially
All
of a
right.
sailor boy.
Folks, that was an unbelievable bonus round. Hannah, you have not given a plug. Do it now, my friend, before I announce the winner. What would you like to tell the audience?
You can visit my Instagram at hannahbear.b. That's where I post any upcoming shows or information. I also have a Rizzle account. If you have Rizzle, it's Hannah Breen Comedy 11, where I have finished producing some content and will probably produce more. And I am always on the go, so follow me.
Thank you so much, Hannah. Folks, I have the final tally. We are going to close out this show with a major upset. We started the bonus round with 10 points for Hannah, 15 points for Anthony, and 20 points for Charlotte. Hannah walked away with 15 bonus points, 25 points total, bringing her into first place. Hannah, you are graduating tonight against all odds. In the bonus round, you pulled ahead. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you to the chat. Oh, man.
The chat did it for you, Hannah. The chat loves you. The chat wants you to be a master of 2MB Studios. And now you are. You have your master's degree. Anthony and Charlotte, you still have your undergraduate degrees from 2MB University. Will, actually, you're still my favorite. And chat, you're still here. So stick around for 3 more minutes because Poof, the Magical Game Show starts at 8. They have a very special guest tonight. Highly recommend. Anything else to say, anybody? What a brilliant show.
Love
Congrats, Hannah.
Thank you. Yeah, congrats.
Hannah.
I did Cornell research, so I'm feeling very collegiate.
Hannah, that all,
Thank you.
You brought the academics in here tonight. You really brought it. Folks, enjoy your evening, and we'll see you next time on That Sounds Right. Have a good night.
Bye.